Good morning, everyone. I'm back with another Python practice video. Today I am on Data in Motion's List Access Safety Coding Challenge. So let's go ahead and get started. As a reminder, I do leave the link to those coding questions down in the description below in case you guys want to do some on your own. But let's go ahead and get started with the instructions. The instruction is to create a Python function that takes in a dictionary and a key and then returns the value corresponding to that key from the dictionary. If the key is not present in the dictionary, the function should return a custom error message. So for parameters, it's saying your function should accept the following parameters. The first one is input underscore dictionary, which is a dictionary from which you need to retrieve the value. And also it wants to take in lookup key, which is the key for which you are looking up the value for. And it gives us some examples. It's saying if the dictionary is apple with a value of 5 and banana with a value of 7, and the lookup key is apple, the function should return 5. And if it's that same dictionary and the lookup key is orange, because orange does not exist in that dictionary, it should return a custom error message like key not found. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, I already created a main down here and I fit in the same dictionary. And then I have those test cases for the first one. If they enter apple, we want it to return 5. And then if they enter grape, it should return a custom error message. And then from this list of test cases, we're going to loop through and print out each return value. So let's come back up and get started on our solution function itself. I decided to call my function find value. And of course, in the inside, we're going to put in the two parameters as stated. The first one was input dict for dictionary. And then the second parameter was lookup key. Okay, so that takes care of our parameters there. So we're going to go ahead and remove pass and get started on our solution. So the first thing I want to do is I want to catch if it's no such key inside the dictionary so we can return that custom error message. So let's do that first. So we'll say if the lookup key is not in input dictionary, like that key does not exist at all, we're going to say let's just say print key not found. So we'll print that in a console. Well, actually, no, let's not print it. Let's just return that message because we're printing out the function itself. So let's just say return the key is not found. It'll essentially do the same thing. When we call that function, if the key is not in there, it's going to return that string key not found. So that takes care if the key is not in the dictionary at all. Now let's go through and do if the key is there. So if the key is there, we want to return the input dictionary. And inside the brackets, we want to feed it the key. And what it'll do is it'll go through the dictionary, it'll look up the key if the key is apple, and then it'll return the actual value for that key. So we want to say, give me the value that the user put in, and it'll go through and grab that. And that should be it. I'm not seeing any issues so far, but in order to make sure it's working, let's go ahead and run it in our console and see what we get. Okay, down the console, I'm going to type Python 3. Then I'm going to start feeding in my file name, which I got spaces in, so it's going to look a little crazy like this. But if you start feeding in the file name and you hit tab, it'll automatically auto-populate the rest of the file name. So this is a little shortcut I like to do. So let's go ahead and hit enter and see what we get. So as you can see, in our first test case, we're giving the dictionary of input dictionary, which is here. And we're asking it to give us the value of apple. So what it's doing is going in our dictionary and it's finding that key of apple and it's returning 5. So that is what we wanted. And you see down here in the console, the first test is returning 5. And then in our second test case, we're going back into the same dictionary, which is at the top here, and we're asking for the value of the key grape. So since we don't have grape in here, in my function, my solution function, I have this. So if it's not in here, the return value will be key not found, and that is what we're receiving here for that second test case. So yeah, that was my solution to this coding challenge. Let me know how you would have completed this coding challenge, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.